We're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I appreciate everybody taking time out of their schedule to be with us today. If you have questions, my partner Katie is here. She's going to be monitoring the lobby, and she's going to be monitoring the chat. But if you, for whatever reason, have a question, please don't hesitate to unmute yourself. This is going to be a pretty timely topic that we're going to be discussing today. And just to provide you an overview of where we're going to be, we're going to provide you with a couple penny updates, just brief, high-level things that are coming on the horizon. We want to make sure that that folks who, for whatever reason, if you haven't received the update on this, that you do. But you can see today we're going to have a discussion about what it means to be lawfully present. We are also going to have a discussion that kind of goes hand in hand with that, related to immigration documents. So um, with that being said, I'd like to just sort of share some brief updates with everyone. Pennie is going to have a planned maintenance, and that planned maintenance is going to be June 2nd to June 6th. And Pennie's shopping and application platform is going to be are undergoing scheduled maintenance. So we're basically going to have uh, the application down during that time. So please plan accordingly. With regards to the call center, Pennie's call center is actually going to be open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Memorial Day, specifically because there may be individuals who want to apply for health insurance, so that it's in place as we head into June 1st. So that's that's an important thing to keep in mind. Pennie Customer Service Center representatives will be here to help. I also wanted to mention the Health Equity Tour that Pennie is partnering with the YMCA on. If you would have an interest in showing up as an assister to participate in any of these events, you are always welcome. We'll have a big Pennie tent there, and again, it's an opportunity to get out and engage the public. There's no charge for you to show up at all. It's again, we're there. So if you'd like to participate, come on down. Bring a stack of business cards, and we'll be happy to have you speak with the folks who stop by our table. You can just Google YMCA Health Equity Tour, and there is a schedule of a very extensive schedule as to when we would be in a county in an area near you. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. With that being said, we are going to head into our topic today. And the topic that we're going to start with is what it means to be lawfully present. Um, I, during during normal times, right now we're under the COVID-19 enrollment period, but during normal times, a qualifying life event through Pennie is that would trigger a special enrollment period is gaining lawfully present status. And lawfully present is defined as the following by our policy team here at Pennie. Um, what lawfully present status does is it allows an individual to purchase a qualified health plan. And in that role, they are qualified non-citizens. They have an immigration status without a waiting period. They're here possibly through humanitarian statuses or circumstances. And those include temporary protected status, juvenile status, asylum applicants. We also would consider somebody a valid non-immigrant uh, holder who has a visa, student visas, H-2A visas, H-2B visas. And then, of course, it can be lawfully present, can be a legal status conferred by others, temporary resident status, Life Act, or the family unity individuals. When we consider lawfully present, there is actually an extensive list of you know, which immigrants would, in the following statuses, qualify to use Pennie. And again, that can be a green card holder, somebody who is an asylee. Recently, I spoke with a Pennie customer service representative who was working with an individual who was here as a refugee, and had a refugee card. And on that card, it was stated on that card that that status would not expire. The card itself would be valid for as long as he held the card. Um, so refugees, we have Cuban and Haitian entrants, individuals paroled into the U.S., conditional entrants granted before 1980, battered spouse, child, and parent. And with that as well, you're looking at, again, with regard to visa holders, non-immigrant status individuals who might have an H1, an H2A, an H2B, student visas, and the list goes on. Currently, another update that I can share with you is that Pennie is currently working with the Department of Agriculture here in Pennsylvania to help not only educate the agribusiness owners and the agribusiness companies that work with migrant workers coming to Pennsylvania to work the seasons. We're eventually going to get to the point where we can, as they enter and are of that valid non-immigrant status, we're in a position where we can inform them about their health insurance options and dental insurance options. So we're definitely excited to see that move forward. But with regard to lawfully present, you also take into consideration, and there's a question that comes up often related to deferred action status. There is an exception there, and it's an exception that deals with deferred action for childhood arrivals, DACA. DACA is not eligible. It's not an eligible immigration status for health insurance purposes. And again, that's something that over time may change, but at present, that's where we're at. And then, of course, administrative orders, staying removal issued by the Department of Homeland Security. Um, these are all considered lawfully present. In line with that, you also have other individuals, applicants. They could be applicants for any of the statuses to qualify to use Pennie. Temporary protected status with employment authorization, special immigrant, juvenile status, victim of trafficking visa, again, asylum, withholding of deportation or withholding of removal under the immigration laws or under the Convention Against Torture, CAT. Applicants for asylum are eligible for micro or marketplace coverage only if they have been granted employment authorization or are under the age of 14 and have had an application pending for at least 180 days. And then people with the following statuses and who have employment authorization qualify for Pennie. Registry applicants, order of supervision, application for cancellation of removal or suspension of deportation, an application for legislation under Immigration Reform and Control Act, legislation under the Life Act. So these individuals that we've just reviewed are those that would be considered those who are here and have lawfully present status. Another question that comes up, and this is a good segue into a discussion of documentation. Another question that comes up, and I was asked the question as recent as yesterday, can undocumented individuals purchase health insurance through Pennie? No. They need to be lawfully present in order to purchase health and dental insurance through Pennie. And of course, with with any declaration of being a visa holder or being on a path to citizenship, there are documents that individuals will have, and when an individual needs to provide clarification or verification, I should say, about their status, immigration status, or their status towards citizenship. An immigrant non-citizen or non-immigrant visa holder can provide these types of documents to Pennie to help clarify that. Of course, a green card. A green card is something, even a temporary green card can be utilized by individuals to help reinforce their status on their path to citizenship. Employment authorization card, I-766, they can provide that. Proof of a current visa status. An example, stamp on your passport or an approval letter for or from United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. There would also be proof of resolution in immigration court. Again, there they would need all pages of that. Notice of hearing of an executive office for immigration review. In addition, an immigrant non-citizen or a non-immigrant visa holder could also provide documents, again, all pages, that were provided to or received from USCIS or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. And again, the ICE documents, confirmation of your application for immigration status was received, letters to or from USCIS, an I-797, USCIS notification of action, an order of supervision from ICE, other documents to or from USCIS or ICE that show your current status or the customer's current status. I-94 arrival and departure records can be utilized. An approved immediate relative I-130 petition, refugee travel document, reentry permit. These are all, again, documents that can be used to help support an individual's non-citizen or non-immigrant visa holder status. And with that, we also have SEVIS ID, again, all pages, Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, or Office of Trafficking in Persons, OTIP, certification or eligibility letter, again, all pages, immigration or other official document showing grant of withholding of removal, asylum, cancellation of removal, administrative closure, administrative order stating removal, an order of supervision, proof that you live continuously in the United States before 1972. For example, your lease agreement or proof of employment would come into play there. A little earlier on, you heard us discuss that for battered non-immigrant citizens, they also have some documents that they could provide: proof of their immigration status, obviously, proof of evidence of the harm or abuse that they experienced, proof of the relationship with the abuser, and proof that they no longer reside with that abuser. That is important. And again, when it comes to documents that can help prove in the case of a battered immigrant, that they can use to, reinforce their status. Again, you're looking at I-797, an order from an executive office, immigration review, E EOIR, granting or finding prima facie case for granting suspension of deportation and cancellation of removal. And again, there are many, many attributes here that can be used to support that individual. If they've applied for health insurance, if they are, again, lawfully present, they've applied for health insurance, and there's documentation required to verify that. There's quite a bit from the battered immigrant non-citizen that can be provided. And again, with that circumstance, you're also looking at reports from, courts, police, judges, clergy, mental health professionals, affidavits, documents that prove the relationship with the abuser. That could be a marriage certificate, birth certificate of a child of an abuser. That could be utilized as well. So um, all of this information that I've reviewed with you today, all of this information is available through pennie.com. It is information that our policy office, between our marketing and communications and our policy office, they work very diligently to make sure that this information is kept as relevant, as accessible, and as accessible to people with regard to an explanation of what would an individual qualify for. With that, I also want to stress that through through pennie.com, the information that was presented here is also available in Spanish. And it's something that, we want to make sure that if there are any questions related to this, that individuals know that they can reach out to pennie.com. Of course, they can reach out to our sister network, but also they can call the Pennie call center, and work through any type of verification that they would need to make sure that they receive the health insurance that they qualify for. So with that being said, I'd like to open things up for discussions and questions. With regard to questions, everybody knows that I make no declaration that my knowledge has its origin in the mind of greatness. Everyone knows that. But if I don't have an answer, I will be happy to see if I can get an answer. One of the and I'll just mention this before we address some questions or some discussion topics. One of the things that earlier this year, um, quite honestly, uh, surprised me was the fear that was central to the public charge and the final rule, et cetera, coming out of 2020. There was a lot of, and anytime you mention financial assistance, if people aren't familiar, uh, immediately you see shades of well, is that public assistance? No, it's financial assistance. It's a little different, but fortunately in March we saw that change, and it was an education moment for me in particular because um, I learned firsthand that, and I've also learned firsthand through working with, assisters in our network. Um, some of the, some of the issues that are uh, incredibly sensitive to immigrants and those who are seeking a path of citizenship, or just for those who come to Pennsylvania to earn a living. Um, there's there's a lot of work that we need to do with regard to the immigrant community, and it's one that, fortunately, it's one that we are aware of not only in our outreach work, but in our communications internally and externally. It's something that we're here at Pennie. It's something that we are very committed to. So, with that being said, like I said, I just like to open things up for any questions that you may have, and or any thoughts or ideas related to immigration status, related to verification of an individual status. If there's anything that you'd like to share, please feel free to unmute yourself.
Scott, this is Laura from Wayne Memorial Community Health Centers. This does not really pertain to the immigration status portion. I think my question is, and I'm not sure if anyone else has this happen, but I have a lot of people that are coming back in to update their applications. And there only used to be either you're working with a broker or a sister or doing it yourself.
Right.
But now there's that third one stating a family member or friend helping me. So when I'm going into all of my applications, anyone that I've worked with, it's actually choosing, it's not me as the assister that had done it initially, it's saying a friend or family member. So it's kind of, scooting down to that. Is that going to hurt me later on? I mean, I'm still able to log into their application, but I'm just concerned for
Well, let
open
me ask
enrollment of
you.
next year.
Yeah, no, Laura, that's a very good question. My question to you is when you log in to that
Mhm,
individual's application, when you look at their dashboard, are you viewed as their assister?
I am.
Okay. All right. That's a
So
good
once I
start.
open up, yeah, so once I open up their application to edit that,
Yep.
if they've obviously had unemployment or a job change or whatever, that's when I've noticed that, and I brought that up to my partner, Rebecca, as well,
Right.
just to kind of
Yeah.
watch that. Because if you're just kind of, excuse me, going through, oh, excuse me, if you're just kind of clicking through just to get to the income portion, that's very easily missed, I think.
Yeah, no,
So
and
I'm
that's
sure
that's what
anyone
I'm
else.
saying. That's a good point.
Okay.
If you are
Hey, Scott,
updating, yeah, go ahead.
I can answer that. So
Yeah.
that question, so as long as you're still associated to that member and you can log in to your sister account and go into that member's account, you're still associated as the assister. That question is just asking, uh, just as it states, are you the assister helping them? Is a family member helping them? But that does not impact your connection to that member. Does that answer your question?
It does. I guess my concern though is open enrollment of next year. So I mean, obviously, yes, I was still attached to these people, everyone that I've helped. It was just something that I was worried that if there is a glitch, because we all know that there's glitches in the system. I've been with it since the very beginning of healthcare.gov, and there's things that we have to work through. So I just wanted to make that note duly noted so that, if it was something, it could maybe get worked out before. But thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any other questions? We have a few minutes.
Scott, this is Rita from Broad Top.
Hi, Rita. How are you?
How do you do? Hi, everybody. If a consumer contacts us who may potentially be a qualified non-citizen, and they are asking for the list of qualified documents or whatnot, where do I navigate them on the Pennie portal? to where this is located so that they can, because they may not be disclosing that information during their phone call to me or to my outreach as a return call to them. They may not wish to disclose what type of qualified non-citizen they are. Where do I navigate them to on Pennie to find this information?
Okay, excellent. Can you see my screen?
Sure can.
Excellent. Okay. Where you would want to go to find this information is under Learn.
Okay.
Okay. They would go down to the FAQs.
Yes.
They would click on the FAQs. Okay. Now, from here, I would suggest that they page down and then go to all FAQs.
Sure.
And then up here, if they type in immigrant status
Use the search. Okay.
and hit enter, the very first thing, documents to confirm your immigrant status. This is literally everything that we just went over. And now,
That's what I was looking for. I figured
yeah.
that was what you had on your screen was
Yeah.
was basically the screenshot from what was on Pennie. I just needed to be able to have that
Yeah.
that direction, the map,
Absolutely.
roadmap for our
Yep.
consumers.
Well, and one thing to point out up here is like I said, on this FAQ page, we have English and Spanish. And sometimes, as you can, see here that the Spanish will be, laced in with it, and other times it'll be separate. So if you were working with an individual who needed that, in their first language, we at least have it in Spanish for now. Of course,
That was my next question.
yeah, we
My
do.
consumer that
We're,
called was of Southern Asian descent, and so they had a family member speaking on their behalf while in the presence of the potential customer. And of course, I know that the languages have been expanded,
yes.
but this list may not be in other languages then. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
And in that event, if a translator is needed, if for some reason there's not a friend or family member there to help the customer, that is a perfect opportunity to dial 844-844-4440.
Okay.
Let the assister know, or let the customer service representative know that you are an assister working with a customer who needs translation, and they will have a translator dial
They'll
in.
loop it back.
Yep.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep, and I also wanted the immigration status section that we had is also here. So if they have a question about what it means to be lawfully present, we have that information available here again in English and Spanish. So, all right, thank you everyone. I see we are at time. Out of respect for your time, I am going to wish all of you a very safe, a very happy week. Again, please keep in mind we are recording these sessions, and as soon as we have it uploaded to our YouTube channel, we will get them out to you. And please don't hesitate to share. If anybody has questions as the week progresses, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us here, and have a peaceful day. Thank you, everyone.